Namaste everyone, it's Alex again. Last time I was talking about meditation and the importance of it. Some people wonder, what is meditation about? Is this some type of religion or some type of a cult? And it's none of the above. Truly it's about identifying who you really are. In any culture you can go and search, whether it's African religion, Chinese, Japanese, Brazilian, it really won't matter. Everyone has a spiritual belief. And why? The answer is, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. Really, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. If you want to look at it that way, it makes a lot of sense. Because this body that you see, whichever shape and form and color it is, it's an instrument. And in spite of the fact that we have all these organs and our body is functioning certain ways, we do have a soul, a spirit. Now some people don't believe that. Some people say, well, yeah, I was born to live my life and I'm going to die. And more and more people start to be curious. It's one thing to grow up in religion and have a certain belief system. It's another to actually go through the experience, to have some type of a awakening. Okay. Now, some of you probably had the experience dreaming of something very powerful, and years later it reoccurs in actual reality, kind of like a déjà vu. So if you think about it, that's pretty powerful, and I'm sure some of you had that experience. So that's when suddenly we start raising questions and wonder, okay, how can this be? Well, how many times in your life you've been through a situation where you thought, and I don't wish this for everyone, but let's say you've been heavily ill and you were wondering, wow, I never had this experience before, and you thought maybe it's literally over, or something was shifting inside of you where you felt a presence, you heard a voice, or you had some type of a energy inside of you that gave you this hope, this inspiration that you want to live. And suddenly, your entire perception changed. I know in my life, I've been through several situations where I thought, wow, it's done, it's over. And then somehow I felt protected. I felt there's someone looking after me or watching over me, whichever way you want to explain that. And I'm sure some of you had the same experience or similar, where when you couldn't comprehend logically what's going on, that this energy gave you answers you couldn't figure out with your own mind. No matter how intelligent and how smart we are, but there is a much stronger element to life than our own understanding. I just want to say a quick hi to Walter and everybody else on here. So you can relate to this easily. Now, all of us going through death experiences, whether it's a related one or somebody close in our lives, father, mother, girlfriend, wife, etc. And it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. I mean, all of us going through this experience, whether we going through it ourselves or see it through someone else or from someone else. So, which means we're all connected with one another. While you're on the other side of the planet and I'm over here, we're still going through the same motions. You may have a different experience. Your life is fashioned differently, different habits, But all of you over there on the other side experience joy, pain, sadness, grief, frustration, whichever way, but all of us experience the same thing everyone else experiences, maybe in a different fashion, which means we're truly one. Sometimes we can be so, how should I say it best, so distracted that we quite don't recognize that we're all, in a way, we're all alike. And at the same time, yes, we're all different. But is there really anyone out there that is more special? I personally don't think so, because that would mean that some people are not so special. That any other form of human spirit is less special than you. Now, yes, there are some people that are incredibly gifted, and there are some people, they have gifts in different areas. They may not be singers, they may not be actors, they may not be entrepreneurs, they just have something different to offer. And that's how you really want to look at it, because each one of us has a different trait, a different specialty in terms of, doing something incredible. But it doesn't make you or any individual more special, if you think about it, because the soul, the spirit inside of us, is evidence that we're all coming from the source, which created us. Meaning before there was an Alex or a Peter or a Johnny or a Michael, we were formless. Meaning pure energy. And then eventually we became this material form that you can see in front of a camera or on a picture or outside, wherever you're going. So meditation reminds us to be reconnected with that source. Each one of us have greatness in us. Each one of us is beautiful. And each one of you in a different way. Everybody has a soul. Everyone has a spirit. Now, a lot of times we get distracted in life and we let the emotion control us. And we get really frustrated, right? Get super frustrated. Suddenly, while your life at one point was so great and beautiful, suddenly you, pardon me to say it, but you're going through a shit show. And most likely, if you're going through an accident or loss, it's not going to feel great, of course. So the idea is not to say, everything is great, everything is beautiful, just keep thinking positive, right? That's not going to be the answer. And meditation is not there to be a positive thinker. It's to make life work, to be productive, to reconnect with your source. So each one of you, each one of us have that connection, have that divine force inside of us. And that means really you are, one with God. Whatever you want to call it, okay? It's not going to change the fact that your soul is there. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you see a wire, and if I drop it, you see there's gravity. Now, you could have an opinion and say gravity doesn't exist, but it doesn't change the fact that the wire is falling because of gravity. And the same thing with your soul. Your soul is there. That spirit is within you. You could deny it, you could walk around it, you could try to escape it, but it's there constantly, your entire life. So meditation is a form, a way of truly understanding your identity, identifying your spiritual higher self. And some people are going to, they look at you and say, oh man, what is this? What's this about? I mean, some people get so angry if, I had a friend of mine who, I would say, disagreed and say, no, meditation doesn't work for me. And I met a few people who got really frustrated because they couldn't sit still. Now, if you're in the middle of Manhattan, 42nd Street, and your whole life you were around traffic and noise, it may seem very strange to you suddenly when there's no more noise. Stillness. And stillness is really where you want to be. And that's just the starting point. So first you calm down, but you reach to a place of stillness. So if I meditate, I give you an example. I'm just going to sit here and close my eyes and just relax. Just observing my body. I visualize myself just sitting there and breathe in, breathe out, relax. And whatever I hear around me, whatever noise, I shift deeper into a place of stillness. And as I shift deeper into that place of stillness, I'm losing my tension. My body relaxes more and more. I drop the shoulders. I might have a little smile. And suddenly, I feel this beautiful place of calmness, no matter where I am. And this is, for example, just a starting point. All right? Now, I'm going to do with you live meditation in the future, so you can join me, of course. And it's beyond pleasant, because once you're able to remove all your stress and anxiety, you're able to actually function naturally. Rather than normal, I say naturally, okay? Because the norm may not be so normal for some others. Now, when I was in situations where I was really ill, felt a lot of pain, I got discouraged, etc., there came a point in time where the body couldn't really follow through anymore. Even the mind was just so overloaded. It's like a computer, like a laptop having no more memory left. And eventually the computer shuts down when you just do too much. So through meditation, I was able to reset everything. I was able to reset myself. And not the self that I'm used to, but discovering the self who I truly am. The soul. So, we have situations, we have conditions, life conditions. But these life conditions, whichever challenge and problem you go through, these are temporary. And so it is with, the pleasureful moments. There's a story about a student going up to a master, basically a monk who wants to learn how to meditate. And he tries to meditate and tries so hard, but he gets so frustrated, and he talks to his master and says, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't meditate. I can't concentrate. I feel pain. I feel a headache. I'm stressed out. What am I going to do? And the master replies to him and says, it will pass. Don't worry. Okay. He goes away. And after some time, another day or a few weeks later, the student comes back to the master and says, you won't believe what happened. I can meditate. I feel better than ever. I'm relaxed. I'm relieved. What should I do? And the master looks at him. Don't worry. It shall pass. And the student looks at him and says, yeah, why am I doing this if everything goes away anyway? Everything shall pass. He says, well, whether it's the good or the bad, everything is temporary. But the key is to be in the moment. Don't be attached to whether it's the good or the bad, because all of it is just temporary. And such is life. But the key is not to hold on to things. The key is to grow, to evolve, and to go with the change. So you never ever have to be stuck. You never ever have to look back and say, oh, I wish I could have done this, or I could have done that. Wow, why didn't I not hold on to this? Doesn't matter if it's good or bad times. Holding on to something that's no longer doesn't serve you, doesn't serve anyone. I can write a song, I can have a memory, and I can bring joy to other people because of the memory in these emotions. And I can inspire people towards the future. I can do that. In that moment, I can inspire people. But at that moment, when I play a song and a certain emotion is triggered, it's creating an entire new experience, because it's a new experience. How many times you heard somebody play the same song, but every time the song is being played, it feels different. It comes out different. For those who play music, you probably have the same experience. You play the song and you know the routine, but every time you play it comes out differently. If you watch your favorite artist, same thing. You know the song list, but it's never the same. So being in the moment, being in the now, which many Buddhists talk about, in general, in spiritual healing, is really the key. Because you can't live in the past, you can't live in the future, you certainly won't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but you're here now. And when you find yourself in a place of stillness and just be centered and be calm, suddenly you don't judge yourself, you don't judge anyone around you. You simply be in a place of stillness, to have peace, serenity. And it doesn't take any fancy techniques. You don't have to go to a church. Notice when you go to a church, people start singing songs, And why? It's because it's like chanting. Transition into a calmer place. Well, there's so much stress out there, and people have pressure because of work and relationships, and etc. They come into that church and they start singing songs. And immediately it shifts your mind. It gets you into a different zone. And that's the idea, because people need to calm down. You wouldn't want it to be in a hospital if people run in with machine guns. That's not what you want. You're there to be saved. You're there, to find a solution to get to a better state. Right? So a meditation is kind of medication. It's a very organic medication. Don't need a description for it. Has no side effects. You can't overdo it. You can't over meditate. So it's something worth trying. Okay? And when you find your true identity, you may come to a point you'll find your true greatness. And knowing that there's no reason to look down at yourself or anyone else, to rediscover yourself. Discover yourself, period. Knowing that you are a spirit in this body, whichever it looks like. I can control that. I maybe can change my hair, my jacket, I can do a lot of things, but that's not the I. It is what is within. And all of you know, as you've been around, and whether you're going on a date, or buying some type of a product, clothes or food, you constantly discover that the appearance is not all there is to it. Something can look great, but it doesn't taste great. Someone can look amazing, but it doesn't feel amazing. So it's all about the inner being experiencing who you really are and being aligned and being connected. Note that there's a balance. I mean, some people, they go extreme. Some people say, well, I'm just going to be spiritual. That's all I need. Forget the physical, forget the financial. And, you know, and it can be quite dangerous because you have this instrument. You need to work with this instrument, your body. You have to be healthy. You got to work, you know. You got to eat and rest, all of the above. So just because you meditate and you work on your spiritual self doesn't mean you dismiss all the other elements in your life. You still need to use common sense. And it's important to have a balance. So meditation simply gets you back into the state of being your true self. And in whichever form, some people sing, some people chant. For example, if you have ever gone to a yoga class, same thing, you know, we're going through all these motions of physicality to finally reach to a place that because of our mind, our physiology changes. Yeah, so it is not just the body, it's not just the mind or the spirit, it's all of them one together, spirit, mind and body. And that's why I believe, and I'm certain that meditation is so important, because with all the hectic and all the things that are going around, this is a place where you can discover your emotional home. When we were able to travel before the COVID, many people were traveling. Now I have been traveling too for at least 8 years, traveling. And along the journey, I met a lot of people that were just never happy wherever they were. I could go to Thailand, and I met people that were pissed off. I could go to Hawaii, and people felt like they're in prison. Imagine that. And Hawaii is beautiful, by the way. But I could go to Bali, and I find people having struggles. So will you really be relieved and find peace because of the physical home? Probably not. Now it helps to have nice weather, to have some sunshine, if you know. I mean, I personally like it. Some people, they prefer the rain. But regardless where you live, you have to have your emotional home in here. Okay? And so when I sing, for example, it's my form of meditation. When I compose something, when I write something, first you have your thought, then you have your words, and then it turns into action. So the question is, where does that thought come from? It's all related to energy. Energy is your base. You sit around some people that don't have good energy and you feel like you want to throw up. Pardon me, but it's how it is sometimes. And some people you never even met before, but it feels so empowering that you want more of it. And that's that energy that connects one to another without saying a word. You know, without even thinking anything, you feel it. And that's energy. Now you feel this energy, you're starting to think. You're processing this energy and it becomes a thought. And as soon as you got that going, you know what is happening. You're materializing this energy in this thought. And that is just the beginning of it. So energy is very powerful. Energy is everything. You are energy. So I hope this little chat helped out. When you're at home and you find yourself some time to sit down, relax, and just observe yourself. Sit down, close your eyes, inhale and exhale. And not think about anything that happened in the past or what might happen in the future, but be in that moment. Think of a place where you feel at ease. Like, imagine you sit on top of a mountain, or you float on top of water and just watch the stars. And you just see the moonlight. And you just see it right above you, right above your head. You just see that beautiful moon, the reflection of the water, and you feel this sincere feeling of feeling at peace. You hear the water, you may hear some birds, you may hear the rain dropping into the water. You can even feel it on your skin. But as you relax, you just find yourself in a place of stillness. And then after 5 minutes, whatever comes into you, whatever vision you have, maybe none, maybe just a little giggle and a smile, it makes you feel the way you didn't feel before. You're at ease. And you slowly open your eyes, and that's it. That is the starting point. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And already while I was doing this, I felt already good. Felt great. So I hope this helped out. Namaste, everybody. And we keep in touch. If you want to join me next time, I'll be on here singing some songs, talk about meditation, doing some meditation along with you. Whichever way, I can be there for you. I'm always grateful to connect with you. And if you want to leave a comment, I've seen some people popped in that I know. Say hi to everybody. Bless all of you and stay safe and make the most of each moment. Be blessed and be grateful. Namaste.